Hello Do Better Fitness community and welcome to today's video. We're going to be working on a mobility routine before our runs. Now this is only going to be about 10 minutes. Ideally we want to have a nice open space, maybe some cushion for the floor, and we are going to need an elevated surface. So if you have a couch, a chair with some cushion, maybe a bench like me, if you have any of that, make sure to have it out. I show modifications if you don't. So go ahead, get those things out. We're going to rock and roll. And for the first thing that we're going to do for this mobility routine is actually wake up our spine. So we're going to be in a tabletop position, hands and knees about shoulder width apart. And from here, what we want to do is breathe in by sticking our head up and our butt up. And then we exhale by sinking our hips first, right? So it's almost like I want to thrust this way with my hips, and I'm going to press into the floor with my hands. And again, I'm exhaling as I do this. And then we want to breathe in and come back into this position. We want to do this 10 reps. So I'm going to do this on my own pace. Go ahead and do it whenever you're ready. All right, and then I'm gonna give everyone a little bit of time here because I want you to go as slow as possible. So make sure you're going through this very slowly and controlled. Next part, again with our thoracic spine, we're gonna get some twists. So we're staying in this tabletop position. What we're gonna do is bring our left hand and we're gonna cross it in between our right hand, right knee. And as we cross it over, I want this left shoulder to hit the floor. So we're gonna, if we need to, we're gonna bring our knees a little bit wider. And again, we're trying to twist, sink that shoulder, and then come right back up. That's a rep. We're gonna shoot for 10 reps. Again, nice and slow. And again, just use your breath. So breathe in, exhale. Breathe in, exhale. And the reason why we are warming up our spine is we use a lot of it during our run. Believe it or not, we are doing a lot of twisting through every stride. So making sure that this is nice and loose is always a good idea. Okay, got one more left. Okay, and we switch. So again, hand stable, controlled, other hand comes up, and I cross, making sure that shoulder hits the floor. Make sure you're breathing. All right, now that we got our thoracic spine, let's go ahead and work into our hips. So this is where if you have an elevated surface, that is awesome. If you don't have an elevated surface, I'm gonna actually show you the movement right now. It's a half kneeling hip flexor stretch. So what we wanna do is make sure this front leg is at 90 degrees, same thing on this side. And what we're gonna do is focus on our hip. We're gonna drive it forward and relax. And we're gonna do this as a dynamic movement, so we don't wanna stay in this position for a really long time. However, if this knee starts to hurt, make sure you have some type of cushion. So let me get myself a yoga block as an example, right? You can always use a pillow or whatever you have at your house. And again, driving that hip forward and relax. We wanna shoot for 10 reps. Now for my people that have the elevated surface, we're gonna use that pad. We're gonna bring our foot on top of the elevated surface. We're gonna bring our knee down at that pad. This is a little bit of a deeper stretch, so if you can handle it, get into this position. And again, same idea with the hip, forward and come back. We're gonna shoot for 10 reps here. And if you want your hips a little bit more love, same side leg that's bent, You can bring it up to the top of that hand, and as you drive your hip forward, you can reach out. So hip forward, reach out. And again, we're shooting for 10 reps. Oh boy, okay, now that we got that, let's go ahead and switch. So now I'm putting my other foot on the back there. And again, if we don't have the elevated surface, same idea, we're in this position. And again, hip forward, and if we can add it, let's add that hand to reach out. Again, we're shooting for 10 reps, so make sure to get it done. And make sure to breathe. All right, so on top of your hip flexors, I really like to get my hamstrings ready to rock and roll as well. So what we could do, keep that cushion for that knee. We're gonna have one leg like this. Other leg, instead of it bent, we're gonna have it straight out. And then we're actually, for balance wise, we're gonna bring it out 45 degrees. So what it looks like, again, I'm on one knee. Whoops. Again, I'm on one knee. And then one leg is out straight, but for balance, I'm gonna bring it out. From here, I'm gonna drive my torso toward my hip, towards my foot in front, and then instead of leaning forward like this, I want to sink my hips back. And while I sink my hips back, my torso leans slightly forward. Now, when I do this, I feel the back of my leg. We're gonna hang out here for a second. Second part to this move is now I'm gonna bring the knee to a bend, hands go into the inside of my hip, and I'm gonna sink it forward. Ooh, already feel it. We're gonna shoot for 5 of these. So again, sink the hips back, drive the hip towards the ankle, going out. Again, focus hips back, bend the hip as best you can. Let's do 2 more. Hips back, bend. This is my favorite stretch. Hips back and bend. Okay, let's get the other side. So other knee comes down. Okay, again, legs out like this. Bring my leg out, 45 degrees out, hands at my hips, sink the hips back. And then again, bend the knee, hands go into the inside of that hip, and we're gonna drive the hip forward. Try to keep the ankle from lifting, so keep that heel to the floor. And again, same thing, hips back, and then bend the knee. Let's go ahead and do 3 more. Hips back, remember torso up, so not going like this. 2 more left. Hips back. And 1 more left. Hips back and sink. Okay, so we're gonna work on our ankles. And to work on our ankles, we're actually gonna be standing up, and the best way is to go against a wall. What we're gonna do is we're gonna bring our leg back on one side. So this is the leg that I'm going to be working on. And so right now I'm already getting a really good stretch in my ankle right here, this guy right here. And I wanna keep this leg straight as best as I can, and I wanna shoot for 10 reps. If I can't handle this, you can always be in this position going up. But the goal is to warm up that ankle of yours. So you can do a single leg, you can do both legs. If you're doing both legs, shoot for 12 to 15 reps. If you can do one leg, shoot for 10. And make sure you get this in. Same thing on the other side, make sure you get 10 reps. And again, if the angle is a little too much, you always be against that wall as well. Again, make sure you get the 10 to 15 reps. Okay, now that we got our calves, I wanna get the front of our shins to prevent shin splints. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring our back against the wall. We're gonna bring our legs slightly in front away from the wall. And what we're gonna do is focus on our toes and we're gonna lift them. We're gonna shoot for 10 to 12 reps. Again, the harder you want it, you can go farther away. The easier you want it, you get closer to the wall. And again, slowly coming up as well as slowly coming down. So don't go up and then slam into the floor. That's literally how we get shin splints when we run. So we want to prevent that. We want to have control coming down. Again, up, control coming down. Shoot for 12 to 15 reps, like I said. Focus, I know you feel the burn. All right. Pretty much worked everything. I hope you guys had a good time with this mobility routine. Now get to running. I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next video.